Hey there, this is the One Boom, and I've had a pretty nasty head cold, so my voice isn't exactly what we would call good, and my ability to read a script is a little bit rusty, and these are both to say the least. So in this video, I'm crapping on Vanguard because as much as I do think it's a capable game, and it has some really great features that I might talk about in a different video, I think we're all a little sick of it. And I think there's a reason that even the people that stood up for it when it came out are kind of sick of it now. It's not a matter of flip-flopping or a matter of changing opinions, it's a matter of the game sort of unfolding into something that's not very respectable, and in this video I'm going to rant about it. So let's be real, the landscape of the FPS genre is oversaturated and competitive. Worse than that, the players have higher standards without a lot of nuanced viewpoints to back them up. When it comes to what sets games apart, you're not really going to get a lot of straight answers out of the average FPS fan, at least in my experience, so you can create a fictional, stylized shooter with lots of color and pop, and then count the seconds before the hardcore crowd leaves it in the dust. You can create a realistically themed shooter that focuses on tight detailed animations and gritty immersion, and watch competitive players scoff at the mere mention of it. Call of Duty has always been able to strike a fine line between realism and arcade-like fun, with the needle sometimes tipping to one side of the dial over the other, as to be expected. I mean, if every Call of Duty was one style, then it would be even harder to justify the annual release cycle than it already is, and then you have 3 different dev studios that have their own visions for the games, so who would expect the same design style for every title? The same map design, the same aesthetic, the same visuals, the same feel, the same level of immersion? It would be kind of silly to expect that. Yeah, this video is about Vanguard. Anyway, Vanguard is a game with that aforementioned needle spinning so fast you'd mistake it for a ceiling fan. It's a game designed to bore fans of the stylized and fantastical, and mocks the fans of the detailed and authentic. Here's a question, big question, why is this a World War II game? It feels like they were halfway done with Advanced Warfare 2, or were planning some sort of COD mobile-esque experience where all of Call of Duty's assets mesh without coherent theme. But no, we get a fictional World War II, at least that's what was pitched to us. And over the last 12 months, it's been drastically eroded with each and every season and every addition to the store. The aesthetic and tone, vibe of the game, anything that you saw in the marketing material is essentially null and void by what they added down the line. This is a shame because the weapons, gunplay, and animations, and overall presentation could have made for a very interesting World War II Call of Duty game if it took itself seriously, even if they went the more fictional story route. I mean, this is a World War II COD game without a Springfield or M1919, but it has an EX-1 and an F-2000 instead. And no operators from World at War or COD World War II, or any sort of movie tie-in stuff that makes sense, like Indiana Jones or something from Band of Brothers. But we have Seraph and Menendez because why not, right? No theme, but hey, Terminator and King Kong product placement, awesome. Warzone tie-ins that are weirdly tied into Vanguard that would make sense in the free-to-play environment of Warzone, but obviously just sort of leaves a bitter taste in everyone's mouth that spent $60 on a AAA World War II game. I mean, it's not like the back of the box explains how far it's fallen since launch in terms of its theme. I mean, Vanguard to me, whenever I see it in a store, it's the game that begs the question, what if someone actually buys this? How confused is the average person buying this for the multiplayer experience going to be if they're not up on what's been added to it over the last few months? Oh, you want me to go into the crappy campaign that has little to no structure, where all of the cool G.I. Joe-esque team of misfits banding together to beat a fictional Fourth Reich? You want me to get into that? Or how the zombies mode is built to please nobody except for maybe some people that are into the billionth remake of Shinonuma, a round-based map that should have launched with the game? No, look, I can't get into that in this video. Vanguard stands as a capable shooter that's left utterly tasteless and feels like it went out of its way to please no one. Most of these issues don't come from the base level gameplay, but instead from microtransactions, seasonal updates, and a general lack of care. You market the game one way and then taint it over time for money. Why not add Milsim skins? Why not add factions? Why not add iconic World War II weapons? You could come up with a ton of bullshit answers that people would gladly parrot in order to justify their grievances with the game, but I don't find it useful to speculate and use blanket statements like greed, scam, and other buzzwords that could certainly find a fan base here. No, I'm content with saying that this game reflects a lack of care from the marketing and publishing side all the way to the development side. The game just feels like it was no one's passion project. No one fought to preserve the game's image because it didn't have one to begin with. It felt like every major issue with Vanguard, even from a technical standpoint when it comes to bugs and glitches, took forever to fix, and some issues still remain in the game today. Between party breaking issues and aim assist bugs, the game felt unplayable throughout the majority of its life cycle, and when that life cycle is only 12 months long, it just feels so hard to get invested in the grind. And with the game having little to no theme or feeling of authenticity, becoming invested in the game itself was a problem for me also. I'm sorry that this isn't a channel for a deep, interesting retrospective. This video is literally just here for me to try to pinpoint better for myself why this game leaves such a bad taste in everybody's mouths, despite it not being terrible on the surface, or I should say in its mechanics, its base mechanics. I mean, what Call of Duty doesn't need some weapon and perk balancing, some spawn fixes, and some other little minute meta things? Like, yeah, it's not a perfect game, but I haven't played a Call of Duty that is, so I'm not gonna hold it too much against Sledgehammer for not being the first perfect Call of Duty game. I'm gonna hold it against them that they release something that feels like you can't market it to anybody. You have games like Hell Let Loose, Ready or Not, World War III, Overwatch 2, Valorant. You have these games that are competing for people's attention and time, and then you just have something that doesn't really care if you play it. It's almost like Vanguard was designed as a DLC to Warzone, like a really expensive big DLC that, in my opinion, was worth my money overall. And I could do a whole video about how Warzone integration might be the worst thing that ever happened to Call of Duty, because it led to a lot of the issues I was venting about in this video. But a version of Vanguard that took itself seriously with milsim skins and factions and iconic weapons. A game that's gritty and gory and more immersive than Modern Warfare 2019, but in a World War II setting could have been really interesting. Could have been a really nice break from what we got in the previous two COD games, but instead we have a forgettable title that I don't think I ever will have a reason to revisit. The amount of maps at launch and gunsmith options at launch was really exciting and kind of overwhelming. The progression at launch when you had to unlock all the operator outfits and quips and all of that, it was kind of fun to take a weapon and level it up to level 70 while playing on like a ton of launch maps. It was great. But over time, every edition made me feel more disconnected from the game instead of interested in playing it. Vanguard is what I hate about AAA shooters. It's so focused on marketing that it forgot to have an actual market. So that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed or got some catharsis listening to me talk. If you guys want to support my channel, I haven't uploaded in a while. There are links in the description that help out my channel. Please feel free to click on any of those and help me out, because I've been a little bit dead in the water because I've been sick and busy with a lot of stuff. I promise though, there's going to be a ton of content when the campaign early access comes out for Modern Warfare 2, and then of course when Modern Warfare 2 launches on October 28th. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you when I see you, and unofficially, I'm back. So nice to see you all again.